the room we weren't allowed to enter. When I was about 10, my family moved into a larger house on the edge of town. It wasn't old enough to be spooky and didn't have the creaks or drafts you'd expect in a horror story, but there was one strange thing about it. At the end of the upstairs hallway, there was a narrow door. It looked like a closet, painted the same beige as the walls, with a tarnished brass knob. But from the first day, my mom told us it was off limits. "That room stays closed," she said firmly. My dad echoed her with a short, "Don't touch it." Naturally, my brother and I were curious. For the first few months, it was easy to ignore. The door was always shut, and life went on. But sometimes when I walked down the hallway late at night, I thought I saw a faint sliver of light coming from beneath the doorframe. Not bright, just a dull glow like a nightlight was on inside. Once I asked my parents why we couldn't go in. My mom didn't even look up from her magazine. "It's just storage," she said. "Nothing in there for kids." But the way she avoided my eyes made it clear there was more to it. One Saturday, while my parents were out grocery shopping, my brother dared me to try the knob. I remember how my stomach twisted as I reached for it. The brass was cold, colder than the rest of the house, like it had been sitting outside in the winter air. I turned it just to see. It didn't budge. Locked. Later that night, I swore I heard something from behind that door, like a faint shuffling or maybe fabric dragging across wood. I held my breath in bed, straining to listen, but the sound stopped as quickly as it started. I told my mom about it the next morning. She gave me a sharp look, one that shut me up fast. "Don't make things up. You'll scare your brother." After that, I never tried the knob again. But the unease never left. Years later, when I was packing up to leave for college, I noticed the door was still there, still locked, still ignored. On my last night in that house, I asked my dad one more time, "What's in that room?" He paused, sighed, and said only, "Some things are better left shut." We moved out a year later, after my parents divorced. I'll never know what was behind that door, and maybe I don't want to. Still, every so often, I dream about that hallway. In the dream, the door isn't locked anymore. I push it open, and the light inside spills out, washing everything in pale yellow. There's a smell, old wood and something faintly metallic, and shelves covered in boxes I can't quite make out. Sometimes I wake before I see more. Other times I hear my mom's voice behind me, sharp and panicked, telling me to leave before I look too closely. Maybe it's just my mind filling in the blanks. But I can't shake the thought that the house itself held something my parents were desperate to keep hidden. And now, every time I visit them in their new homes, I catch myself scanning for doors that don't belong. It's been years since I lived there, but the memory hasn't softened. If anything, it's sharper, like an unfinished sentence in the middle of a page. I sometimes wonder if I should track down the family that bought the house, ask if they've opened that door, or if they've heard anything strange from that end of the hall.